Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero are currently the two best isekai I've ever seen. They're also my favorites, so I'm tired of watching the two fan bases constantly arguing about whose isekai is better. You never see Konosuba fans declaring war on Tensura fans, so why can't we all just get along and make fun of SAO like we used to? I'm Echidnut, and it's time for me to end this debate once and for all. Except instead of trashing one series and praising the other, I'm just gonna praise both of them, and whichever one gets the most praise wins. What do they win? Nothing, because this argument is pointless and stupid. These two isekai use completely different approaches and serve completely different purposes. Comparing them is like comparing apples to oranges, if apples and oranges could make me cum. Mushoku Tensei is the gold standard perfect archetype of what an isekai is supposed to be, but Re:Zero is a total subversion of everything Mushoku Tensei and the isekai genre stand for. So comparing them is actually really stupid. But because I'm also really stupid, I'm gonna compare them. Don't try this on Twitter, kids. This first category is worth 5 points. The winner will use those points to damage their opponent's health, and whoever drops to 0 loses. So, just as every anime should, let's begin with the opening. Both Re:Zero and Mushoku Tensei handle their openings with Chad-like philosophies compared to most other anime. Openings are nice, but the problem is they can sometimes break the immersion and take up valuable time by essentially pausing the episode for about 1 to 2 minutes. Also, most of us just skip them anyway. Yeah, that's right, I'm not some elitist who thinks people who skip openings deserve the death penalty, unless they skip the Mushoku Tensei opening. If you skip the Mushoku Tensei opening, you should literally be castrated. Mushoku Tensei's opening is incorporated into each episode uniquely, in the best and most creative way I've ever seen. By showing beautiful scenic shots that expand on the current episode, Mushoku Tensei's opening adds to the immersion rather than pausing it, and that's what makes it literally unskippable. Re:Zero, on the other hand, skips its own opening like 90% of the time, which is the right choice because it allows them to lengthen the episodes, but I think Mushoku Tensei is the clear winner as far as openings are concerned. This second category is worth 15 points because it's the most important. Waifus. Re:Zero has a lot more waifus than Mushoku Tensei, so to keep this as fair as possible, we're not gonna compare side characters like Echidna or Ghislaine. Let's try to focus on the main waifus. Mushoku Tensei's 3 primary waifus are Sylphie, Eris, and Roxy. They're easily some of my favorite characters in the isekai genre, but when compared to Re:Zero's waifus, they are greatly outmatched. Re:Zero's primary waifus are of course Emilia and Rem. These two are so influential that even people who haven't seen Re:Zero still pick sides in the waifu war. Re:Zero's author himself was on Team Emilia, but he accidentally wrote a much better waifu named Rem. Rem was too perfect for her own good, and she grew to be even more powerful than the author himself. He swore his love to Emilia, but then felt guilty after he developed feelings for Rem instead. Thus, gluttony was born. Jokes aside, Re:Zero's waifus are so perfect that a large portion of the fanbase chooses to ignore everything else the series has to offer. That's not really a good thing, but it only happened because of good writing and good waifus. Mushoku Tensei's waifus are more simple, but Re:Zero's waifus are more simpable. Category 3, worth an entire 10 points, art and animation. As an anime, one of the most important factors is obviously the animation. Unfortunately, Re:Zero had a noticeable decline in Season 2, but because there's only one season of Mushoku Tensei, we're gonna use Re:Zero Season 1 as the comparison here. Re:Zero's visual storytelling is excellent, with plenty of smoothly animated fight scenes and beautiful shots to accompany them, but Mushoku Tensei is just on another level. The backgrounds are so good, it feels wrong to call them backgrounds. The landscapes are breathtaking, vibrant, and almost as colorful as Aqua's vomit. I can't even remember the last time I saw a dragon that wasn't CGI, and they somehow made the water look more realistic than actual water. The care and budget that went into Mushoku Tensei's adaptation is mind-boggling, and as a Re:Zero fan, it actually made me jealous. Visually speaking, Mushoku Tensei is superior to Re:Zero without question. This next category, worth 5 points, is gonna be a short one. Music. Mushoku Tensei's music is super immersive and fits very well. And Re:Zero's music is just way better. Re:Zero wins, that's all. Next category will not be worth any points because it isn't fair, but just for fun, voice acting. Obviously, ReZero completely dominates this category, but remember when I said these two isekai shouldn't be compared? Here's another reason. Mushoku Tensei as a narrative doesn't have nearly as many opportunities for voice actors to push themselves to their limits like ReZero does. For example, while Rudius is busy reading books and jerking off, Subaru is getting tortured to death and having like 5 mental breakdowns all at once. So of course ReZero's voice acting is going to be more impressive. Mushoku Tensei didn't even have a chance, so this category is void. Another unfair category would be story. The story is like the second most important part of every story, but ReZero isn't complete yet, so I'm not going to compare an unfinished story to a finished one. It's also unfair to compare one arc to another because ReZero's arcs are at least 10 times longer than Mushoku Tensei's arcs. I will say that I think ReZero generally has better writing, but I prefer the way Mushoku Tensei is organized. While ReZero's arcs are just constant pain with a relieving conclusion, Mushoku Tensei tricks you into thinking it's a slice of life, until you realize that the next chapter is called Turning Point 57. I think the slower aspects of Mushoku Tensei that some would call filler actually help flesh out the world and make the more serious moments a lot more impactful. ReZero's story is really good too, but it's unfinished, so let's move on. Next category worth 5 points is mechanics. Not the guys who fix your car, but the magic system, power rankings, laws of nature, etc. ReZero and Mushoku Tensei have similar magic systems, except ReZero explains it poorly and makes it confusing. A long time ago I made a video called How Magic Works in ReZero, and that video got a lot of views because nobody understood ReZero's magic system. Mushoku Tensei explains magic a lot more smoothly and even breaks down swordsmanship into 3 systems that are also properly explained. ReZero's divine protections are basically the same as Mushoku Tensei's equivalent, except ReZero uses them a lot more creatively and goes more in depth with its authorities and witch factors. For some reason, I find the 7 deadly sins incredibly interesting, so I have a strong bias towards ReZero in this category. It's a close call, but I think Mushoku Tensei has better mechanics overall, even though personally I prefer ReZero's mechanics. Next, worth 5 points, the world. I don't mean the literal map of the world, but rather the setting, history, monsters, politics, lore, that kind of stuff. And both isekai excel in this category, by the way. ReZero's deep and mysterious lore involving the witches is one of my favorite concepts in all of fiction, but the way it's developed is also genius. Rather than directly telling us ReZero's history, we're given multiple conflicting stories that force us to think about what we should believe. Mushoku Tensei's lore is one of its strong suits as well. As the 6-sided world's history gets uncovered, it helps develop the primary villain and progress the story. Mushoku Tensei's environment, though, is the pinnacle of creativity. Every location has a distinct atmosphere with its own culture and traditions, and it's just an incredibly complex, well thought out world. Of course, the same applies to ReZero, but I think ReZero's history is what stood out to me the most. Its lore is infinitely deeper and more intricate than Mushoku Tensei's, and even though this category was basically a tie, I'm handing it to ReZero because I'm just really biased. Another category worth 5 points is enjoyment. This is another very close call, because I've enjoyed both isekai more than I can even express in words. At the moment, I'm feeling a little biased towards Mushoku Tensei, because it only has 5 health remaining, and I don't want it to die until this video is at least 10 minutes long so I can put ads in it. But to be honest, I really think Mushoku Tensei is more immersive than ReZero. Watching ReZero feels like I'm watching a really good movie, but Mushoku Tensei makes me forget I'm watching something in the first place. When a Mushoku Tensei episode ends, I feel like I'm waking up from a dream, and isn't that the reason we started watching anime? We want to get lost in a story to forget about our sad, painful lives, and while ReZero is a masterpiece that's a lot better than Mushoku Tensei in many areas, Mushoku Tensei is more immersive, and thus wins the enjoyment category in my opinion. This next category could be the last one, worth 5 points, emotional impact. Uh-oh, sounds like an obvious win for ReZero, right? That's what I thought too, until I read the Mushoku Tensei web novel. ReZero definitely made me cry more often, but Mushoku Tensei forced me to cry without my consent, even for characters I wanted to hate. I totally didn't expect it, but later on in Mushoku Tensei, there's a couple moments that hit me a lot harder than even the saddest parts of ReZero did. While ReZero generates emotions a lot faster and more often, Mushoku Tensei hit slightly harder when it finally did. I think I have to give this one to ReZero, but Mushoku Tensei doesn't deserve to die like that, so we'll just call it a tie. This final category, worth 5,000 points, is characters. Let's put the nail in the coffin, shall we? Arguably the most important part of any story is the characters. Luckily, Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero have a lot of very strong, well-written characters. Side characters from Re:Zero are literally better than the main characters from most other anime, and Mushoku Tensei's author does this amazing thing where he takes someone like Rudius, Eris, or even Paul, and introduces them in the worst way possible, leaving you no choice but to despise them. But then, through brilliant writing, he forces you to change your mind about them, love them, and even cry for them. Both isekai have a plethora of amazing S-tier characters, but there's one guy who belongs above the entire tier list. I think you guys know what I'm about to say. Re:Zero has the best main character in the isekai genre. No, in the anime genre. Natsuki Subaru is the greatest protagonist of all time, and it's just not even fair. If Subaru fucked my wife, I would thank him afterwards. There's no competition, he's just vastly superior to everyone and everything. So that's that. Mushoku Tensei was a fierce opponent, but it was sadly defeated by the best isekai of all time. Re:Zero. The judges may have been extremely biased, but the truth is I kinda went easy on Mushoku Tensei because if Re:Zero lost, Reinhardt would have survived anyway, so it doesn't matter. Once again though, comparing Re:Zero and Mushoku Tensei is incredibly stupid, and this video was stupid as well, but it's too late because you've already watched basically all of it. That being said, if there was anything you disagreed with, please let me know. I wouldn't be surprised if I upset a lot of people today, but to be honest, I could have easily twisted my decisions in favor of either isekai because both series are simply incredible in every aspect. The statement I wanted to make by comparing them is that Mushoku Tensei is worthy of being discussed on the same level as Re:Zero. Maybe it isn't quite as good in some areas, but it's definitely the second best isekai I've ever experienced, and I'd like it if more Re:Zero fans gave it the respect it deserves. If you enjoyed the video, or you were at least entertained by it, please drop me a like and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my future shitposts. That's all I got for today though. I'm out for now. Keep talking about SAO. Peace out.